Hey everyone, I am back with another bookish video. My name is Anna, and today I will be reviewing Jackaby by William Ritter. So I do want this to be a pretty spoiler-free review. I'm just going to share the main plot points and my thoughts. If you do want a more in-depth review, I will link my Goodreads review in the description box. So Jackaby takes place in the fictional American town of New Fiddleham. We are following the story of Abigail Rook. The time is about 1892, early 1890s. Abigail Rook is an English young woman somewhere between 18 and 21 years old. She has just landed fresh off the boat. She is coming to America seeking adventure, seeking exciting job. She comes from a really well-off English family. Her mother is kind of like a stay-at-home mom who forces her into poofy dresses and wants her to be very feminine and ladylike. Her father is a paleontologist, which is kind of where we are supposed to believe she gets her adventurous spirit, although her father never lets her actually do anything exciting. At the beginning of the novel, we see Abigail come off the boat, literally fresh off the boat. She lands in New Fiddleham. The first thing she does is she goes into a bar and she meets Jackaby. Her first impression is, oh, this guy's kind of fascinating, but also kind of weird. I believe either that same day or the next day, she sees an ad somewhere in town. Investigative Services is looking for an assistant. She follows up on that lead, and it happens to be Jackaby. One of the things that threw me off from the beginning is that you don't actually learn Abigail's name until like chapter 3. That was really weird. So by chapter 4, chapter 5, we're already at a crime scene. We are led to believe that this is a supernatural event that took place because the scene is so odd. There is a gruesome murder where the heart is ripped out of the victim and there's very little blood. So Jackaby, who is supposed to be like, I don't even know. They never really establish why Jackaby is the way that he is, and by they I mean the writer William Ritter. He never really establishes why Jackaby has the great skills that he has because he is a detective. Honestly, I think William really struggled to pinpoint what Jackaby's abilities are. He's just able to see things and understand them and like whatever. He hires Abigail off of the first day because even though Abigail has never had any crime investigative experience or law enforcement experience or any interest, she is a natural and she is just, very observant apparently. Within the next day or two, a lot of other bodies start to pop up around New Fiddleham. They start to investigate these crimes and they realize that this is a serial killer. So now they have a serial killer on their hands. They're kind of, not really, but kind of working with the New Fiddleham law enforcement to solve these crimes along with the homeless woman of the town, the crazy homeless woman. So that's really the heart of the story. I think that this book really struggles with identity. It is a crime-solving, magical at times, but unexplained comedy. Pretty weak at the crime solving. It is pretty weak at the magic. The comedy was hit or miss. Did I enjoy this book overall? Yes, I do want to say that I did enjoy it, and I would say, if you're looking for something quick and easy to read, I would recommend this. It's just under 300 pages. William Ritter is, I hope that's how you say his name, William Ritter. He is a solid writer. I think that his writing flows really well. I think that he had a good idea that was poorly executed, but is still fun to read nonetheless. One of the things that I enjoyed is the pacing. I was personally entertained by the pacing because it is a pretty short book. It's just under 300 pages, and a lot happens in those 300 pages. So every single page, something happens, there's a new plot point developing, and it keeps you as a reader entertained. He did really well with dialogue. Jackaby is the first book in a series of, I believe, 4 books. I would be interested in reading the other 3 books. We'll see. William Ritter, even though he is a solid writer, he's not a great writer. I think that he lacks a little bit of creativity. Like I said, the magic aspect wasn't fully developed or explained. I think that part of the pacing. Like I said before, I really enjoyed the pacing, but it does affect the overall quality of the book because there wasn't really much character development. He didn't really have time to set up his characters. He didn't have time to really set up the magic system. I think the town overall was well developed. I think that I had a very clear picture of what the town was like, the setting, the time, but there was no growth in the characters, and as a reader, I didn't really get to know them or Jackaby's abilities. There were other supernatural beings involved in the book. I don't want to say too much just to what it was because I don't want to give any plot points away, but there were other supernatural beings that were also not very well developed or very well used. And again, back to a lack of creativity. I think that he had a good idea and didn't really know what to do with it or where to take it, because that third act really falls flat. You know who the bad guy is through pretty much from like the beginning. As soon as he walks in, you're like, okay, that's him. Because of that, because you already know the entire time who the bad guy is, you don't get that hit at the end of, oh my god, it's him. And so that third act is a little boring. You're kind of like, all right, let's get through it. Let's see, how this wraps up. If you're looking for something complex and deep and you want to read critically, this is not that book. If you like fast-paced, if you like plot conveniences and characters that are there but not fully fleshed out and just kind of there for the ride, then you might enjoy this book. And I know that sounds like I'm cooking it, but I'm really not. I'm just saying that it's one of those books, just enjoy it for the fun versus, the quality. Overall, I gave Jackaby a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Originally, I had gave it a 4 because I did really enjoy reading it. I had a lot of fun reading it and I read it quickly. But as I kind of let it sink in and I thought again of the plot points, of the characters, I realized that it was an idea that felt rushed, even though the ride was fun. So I knocked it down half a point, half a star. And I think that 3.5 is pretty fair. I think that I will try the other book, the next book, not anytime soon. I'm not going to rush out and go get it tomorrow. But I think that, once I kind of get through what's on my TBR right now, I'll look into getting book 2 and see what that's like. I hope to see William's writing improve. Don't take it too seriously. Just take it at face value. It's not incredible writing, but it's not trash. Alright, so that's my really quick spoiler-free review. If you do, like I said, want to see a more in-depth review of the characters, of the plot, I will be putting that up on my Goodreads and I will link that in the description box. Follow me on Instagram. I'll put that on there as well. Like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. That is all for today. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video.